Hello, everyone. Today, we're diving into one of the darkest chapters of history. We're exploring the story of Amon Goeth, one of Nazi Germany's most ruthless officers, a man who made it a daily routine to casually shoot prisoners from his balcony. But how does someone become this cruel? How does an ordinary person transform into such a terrifying figure? In this video, we'll cover every detail of Goeth's life, from his early years to his war crimes, his capture, and his grim end. You'll learn about the dangerous game he played with Oskar Schindler, the psychology behind his actions, and how his legacy lives on in popular culture. If you're interested in history, human psychology, and powerful stories like this, you're in the right place. For more content like this, don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. And share your thoughts in the comments. Do you think a person could truly be this ruthless? Now, let's open this dark page of history together. Amon Leopold Goeth was born on December 11, 1908, in Vienna, Austria. He grew up in a Catholic family in a politically charged era where anti-Semitic ideologies were gaining traction. Despite his family's middle-class background, with a family business in publishing, Goeth left school early, opting to pursue radical political ideas rather than following in the family business. From a young age, Goeth was influenced by Nazi ideology, which led him to join the Nazi Party's Austrian faction in the early 1930s. As the Nazis rose to power, Goeth climbed the ranks within the SS, distinguished by his strong anti-Semitic beliefs and commitment to the party's principles. After Austria was annexed by Germany in 1938, a significant victory for Nazi supporters in Austria, Goeth's role within the SS expanded quickly. By the late 1930s, Goeth had joined one of the SS's elite units and underwent rigorous training. His superiors noticed his sadistic tendencies and his ruthlessness, making him an ideal candidate for handling the Nazi regime's brutal policies. When Germany invaded Poland, Goeth was assigned to oversee the administration of Poland's Jewish population, setting the stage for the horrors he would later commit in the concentration camps. In 1942, Goeth was tasked with establishing and commanding the Płaszów labor camp near Kraków, Poland. What was initially a forced labor camp quickly became a place of terror under his rule. Every morning, Goeth would stand on a balcony or hill, looking over the camp. Without hesitation, he would pull out his rifle and shoot prisoners at random, as if it were a game. He took pleasure in causing fear and suffering, and this became his twisted daily ritual. Goeth didn't just kill, he terrorized. During the liquidation of the Kraków Ghetto in 1943, he supervised the forced evacuation of thousands, murdering many on the spot and sending others to death camps. For Goeth, people weren't individuals. They were obstacles, expendable and devoid of worth. What goes through the mind of a man who sees human life as worthless? This is a question historians and psychologists have wrestled with for years. While Goeth was spreading terror, another man was fighting for life. Oskar Schindler, a German industrialist, risked his wealth and safety to save as many Jews as he could. Schindler's factory in Kraków was a sanctuary, a rare place of hope amidst despair. But to protect his workers, Schindler had to negotiate with Goeth, a man with an insatiable thirst for power and greed. Schindler's relationship with Goeth was complex and dangerous. To keep his workers safe, Schindler often bribed Goeth with gifts and favors, securing permission to transfer Jews from Płaszów to his factory. In this twisted game, Schindler saved hundreds from death, all while walking a thin line with one of the most sadistic men of the Holocaust. It's a story of courage against cruelty, humanity against inhumanity. But how did Schindler manage to navigate such treacherous waters? As the war came to an end in 1945, Goeth tried to flee, but his attempt was futile. Captured by Allied forces, he was extradited to Poland, where his crimes were laid bare. In 1946, he stood trial and witnesses testified to his horrific acts at Płaszów. His defense was weak and the overwhelming evidence condemned him. Goeth was sentenced to death and hanged on September 13, 1946. Despite facing justice, Goeth never showed remorse. He remained loyal to Nazi ideology until his final moments. For him, his actions were justified by a belief system that placed hatred above humanity. But can justice truly account for the lives he destroyed? Or is his punishment just a small step toward remembering the atrocities committed? What makes a person capable of such evil? Historians and psychologists have long studied figures like Amon Goeth to understand the darkest sides of human nature. Goeth's actions were not just those of a man following orders, they were the acts of someone who found joy in cruelty, who wielded power over the powerless with unrestrained sadism. He exemplifies the twisted human potential for evil when given unchecked authority. Goeth's story serves as a haunting reminder of how ideologies can transform ordinary individuals into instruments of horror. In the hands of the Nazi regime, he became a tool of terror, inflicting unimaginable suffering on thousands. But can we really explain the mind of a monster? Or are there some evils that simply defy comprehension? Amon Goeth's brutal legacy is immortalized in Steven Spielberg's Schindler's List, where Ralph Fiennes brings his terrifying character to life. Fiennes' portrayal captures the cold, calculated cruelty of Goeth, making him one of cinema's most unforgettable villains. The film serves not just as a historical account, but as a chilling reminder of the horrors that can emerge when power is placed in the wrong hands. Goeth's story is a cautionary tale, a dark chapter in history that warns us of the depths to which humanity can sink. His actions and the terror he inflicted upon innocent people stand as a testament to one of the darkest chapters in human history, a warning of what can happen when hatred and prejudice are allowed to rule. The question we're left with is this: how can we ensure that such a legacy of horror is never forgotten? And what can we learn from the life of a man who chose hatred over humanity?